So recovery and consensus. This is the topic in the fourth unit. We can discuss now. It's a very easy and interesting topic you can discuss. So based on the understanding of previous units, the first unit, second unit, third unit, we have revised all the topics. So you can understand now what is the outcome of the all three topics. There is a distributed applications. There is a distributed applications. What is a major point we discuss? There is a group communication. Group communications, actually, who are all involved in the group communication? There are process available. That means we discussed yesterday that sites, each sites having number of process. So each process is sending the message to one sites to another sites, or it's sending the message to server. So this is what happened in this communication, group communication, inter process communication, group communication, and then message will be sent from one side to another side. That is what we discussed so far, right? How it is coordinated each other, and whether it is following the synchronous communication or asynchronous communication, means blocking and non-blocking mechanism, like this we discussed. And yesterday we discussed about deadlock we discussed, and then and previously what we discussed previously, and then mutex, distributed mutex, like whatever the synchronization, how this maintaining the synchronization, how we are allowing the process to the critical section. So that points and all we discussed yesterday. So same scenario, now you have to think about this checkpoint and recovery. So checkpoints and recovery is very important. You might be heard this point, recovery. So you'll be creating the recovery point in your mobile also in your laptop also. You have set like this recovery points. What for these recovery points? Recovery points. So when there is a failure in your system, right? And before this recovery point, we'll do that restore point. We'll take some date. We'll fix up to that. We'll restore it. We'll store that one. So when there is a failure after this restore point, then what will happen? We'll go to the restore point where we stored. From there again we'll start the process. So that is what mechanisms, rollback mechanisms. So this is the point we have to discuss here. Checkpoint. So you have to create a point where you have to store the data. So far there is no problem while transferring the data and communicating with the other resources. But after that, if there is a failure, means you have to go back previous checkpoint where you store properly. From there again you have to start. So this is important, very much. This is very much required in the distributed application, because there are a lot of communication happening. So one system to another system, your system is somewhere available. You're sending the message or receiving the message. There are a lot of communication processes are happening. So there is a failure is possible. The fault tolerance. So fault tolerance possible. So will some of them join? So fault tolerance possible here, and then we have to discuss here issues in failure recovery, checkpoint based recovery, lock based rollback recovery, coordinated pointing algorithm for asynchronous checkpointing and recovery. This is one chapter. So checkpointing and rollback recovery is one chapter. After that, consensus and agreement algorithms, the second chapter. So as I told you already, either first chapter or second chapter, if you are ready, if you are the strong, then you will write one 13-mark question easily. And another point, you can easily understand the concepts. Only understand that how the communication happening. So what is actually the concepts involved here? See, if you understand everything clearly, then there is no problem, right? So thing is, if you're not able to keep remember that concepts, not understanding the concept, then it is very difficult learning the concepts here, because already the checkpointing rollback mechanism we might be studying operating system, even DVMS. There are many subjects already you studied concepts. Now the same concept, whatever you studied, just you apply in the distributed environment. Now this scenario is something different. You have World Wide Web is there. There are scientific computing is there. There are many applications. Your LinkedIn is there. There are many applications are there. There are systems are communicating. All the distributed systems are communicating each other. Now without this distributed application, we cannot do anything in the world. So you see, whatever the latest applications, I told you everything is overlay networks. Overlay means already we have running the traditional networks. On top of these networks, this latest applications are running on the overlay networks. That is why this latest communication, the latest process we have to understand. That is why this subject is there. Distributed system is there. So in this, in the fourth unit, what we have to discuss, checkpointing and rollback recovery. It's a very important point, because when there is a failure, how to recover from this failure? Because you are sending so many messages. At you are believing that your message will reach to the end user, right? So whoever to whom you want to send the message, you will be sending to them. Whether reached or not, you have some acknowledgement. Even if you take this, for example, some message you are sending in the chat, you can easily understand, because other end, their contact, when you see, you can see their message reached, or there is a latest one that would have ticks and all available, so you can easily understand whether message reached or not. Something you can do it. But same kind of things, when you are applying the other application, through other application, when you're sending the message to the system, whether it's reached or not, based on the reply, you can understand. But this and all, you are looking at the system, the front end only you are seeing. So what is the back end is happening? The background process we are not knowing. That background process only you are studying here, right? So here, especially, we are going to concentrate on the how to create a checkpoint and how it is doing the rollback recovery. Because every process is having the checkpoint. There is a local checkpoint is there. There is a global checkpoint is there. How we internal coordinated each other. There is algorithm is there to coordinate the checkpoints, and then how coordinating the rollback. So these two major points we have to discuss in the first chapter. You can see the basics what is given. First two, three topics on basics we have to discuss. Once you understand the basic, then next algorithm, everything you can easily write study. You cannot mark up. You don't need to memorize everything. Just the concepts keep remember, so that when you look at the each and every points, you can easily write down. So the distributed system today are ubiquitous and enable many applications. Location-based computing, including client-server system, transaction processing, World Wide Web, scientific computing, among many others. So these are all distributed applications. Distributed systems are not fault tolerant, and the vast computing potential of these systems is often hampered by their susceptibility of the failures. So failure is possible. We can say sometimes fault tolerance system will defend its problem itself. It will recover from the problem automatically, but it will not happen for all the problems. There are major failures are there that the system will not do. There are algorithms are running that algorithm will do recover, create a checkpoint, and then it will recover from the failures. It will be done automatically by the algorithms. So that is what we have to consider here. And many techniques have been developed to add reliability and high. When you say Yahoo server, Gmail server, Amazon server, Flipkart server, some other server you are approaching, you are sending some request, right? So what will happen if it is not? It will not show error. I'm not available this time, right? Sometimes you may get a message like this. So it says SBI Bank from this time to this time there is a maintenance works. So that time you cannot approach the server. You cannot send any request to the server. But other than that times, you can always avail the service from the resource provider. For example, AWS is there, Amazon web services are there. So like this, there are many distributed applications there. It is continuously providing the service. That is called highly available. Highly available. That is why everybody is liking to use internet. So that is one point you have to keep remember. Another one, what is the basic they are giving? Rollback recovery. The rollback recovery already you studied in DBMS also. So rollback means going back to previous point. Going back to previous point. Why should go to previous point? Because while moving forward, there is a failure. So when there is a failure, I cannot again move forward. So I can go back and see the previous point, reduced checkpoint where the data stored correctly. From there, again I have to restart the process. While restarting the process, I have to start the process and then finish that task. If it is successfully completed, then I can go to the next checkpoint. So like this, I can move. So that rollback means if there is a failure, you can move previous checkpoint. That is called rollback. So you can see here, rollback recovery treats a distributed system. Distributed application is as a collection of processes that communicate over a networks. It achieves fault tolerance by periodically saving the state of the process during the failure-free executions, enabling it to start from a several saved state, that is a checkpoint, upon a failure to reduce the amount of lost work. The saved state is called checkpoints. 2 marks are very important, 2 marks, checkpoint and rollback recovery. The procedure of restarting from the previously checkpoint state called the rollback. So that is what I told you also. So checkpoint means the saved state. Rollback means it is starting from the previous point. That is a checkpoint. So here two things you have to remember, because in the previously the next what topics we are going to study by relating these two words only: checkpoint, rollback. Whether a checkpoint based algorithm is there, rollback based algorithm is there. But checkpoint means what? Saving. So you maybe have a 10 states, 10 checkpoints. Each checkpoint you are saving the state. When saving means what? So far, whatever done, whatever process done by the system, everything will be stored in the particular checkpoint properly. So that is saving the state. Just keep remember checkpoint. Another one is rollback. If you meet any failure, then you'll have to go back. From there, you have to start the rollback. These two very important keywords you have to remember in this unit. So if you have knowledge properly on this, then you can study whatever you read. You can easily understand. Checkpoint can be saved either the stable storage or volatile storage. Stable storage, you can persistent system, that is a permanent one. Volatile storage means what? It is it is not a permanent one. Volatile memory like this you are studying now. It is not a permanent. Sometime you keep some time on this particular store point, then we'll have to move next one. In distributed system, rollback is complicated because messages into inter-process dependency during failure-free operations, right? So upon a failure, one or more process in a system, this dependency may force some of the process that did not fail to roll back. So creating what is commonly called rollback propagations. So the failure when there is a failure is there, we have to rectify this failure when you move to the previous state. That is rollback propagations. So that situation is explained here. So consider the situation where the sender message M roll back to the state that precede the stating of the sending of the M. The receiver M must roll back to state that, because without sending you cannot receive the message. But sometimes the receiver will show I receive the message, but who sent the message? That is inconsistent. So that is what I explain here. Inconsistent means I sent the message but it's failure. But sometimes after some time it's reach remains, but you don't know how to find out who is the sender. So that is inconsistency, right? So next important effect we have to study domino effect. Domino effect. So creating the multiple checkpoints. So now look at this one. The phenomenon of cascaded rollback is called the domino effect. Cascaded rollback. Rollback means you have to have a different. Immediately you should have you should remember that. So it is it is rollbacking. It's going back to previous checkpoint. From there it is starting the operations because there is a failure. That is called rollback. Going back. Rollback means going back to the previous store point, saved state. So that you have to remember. Then only you can understand. So cascaded rollback is called domino effect. In some situation, rollback in a distributed system, each participating process take its checkpoints independently. So every process is having its own checkpoints. Then the system is susceptible to the domino effect. Why? Because this process is called independent or uncoordinated checkpoints. Because when there is a failure, when there is one system, one process is going to face some failure, means other systems also having their own checkpoints. Then we cannot coordinate each other. But two or three, checkpoints, two or three processes having the failure means how we can coordinate each other. So if the global state is there, then all the checkpoints are coordinated properly, means there is no problem. But if the system and the process is having its own checkpoint, then if there is a failure in the individual checkpoint, then it is not able to coordinate. That means cascading means connecting all together to execute some task is not at all possible. That is why it is domino effect. Again, I'm telling this. Rollback in a distributed system. If each participating process take its checkpoints independently, then the system is susceptible to the domino effect, right? This approach is called the independent or uncoordinated checkpoints. In coordinated checkpoints, where the process coordinates the checkpoint to form a system-wide consistent state. So when in a system, when you have many checkpoints, all will be coordinated each other. Then it is a coordinated checkpoints. When one is failure, then we can go start from the previous process. From there we can start. So in case of process failure, the system can be restored to such a consistent set of checkpoints, preventing the rollback propagation. So rollback, when you want to do rollback, means what happened? So rollback means you are investing additional cost, because you have a proper mechanism. If you don't have a more rollback, means you are reducing the cost only. So it is cost based matter, because every time when there is a failure, you are applying the rollback algorithm, means is consuming the power also, and taking too much of time. So without rollback, we have to move forward. So that is the idea of coordinating checkpoints. And communication induced checkpoints. Communication induced checkpoints. You look at this point. So forces each process to take checkpoints based on the informations piggybacked on the application messages it received from the other process. So other process will send the packet, means it is piggybacking backed, that will tell the process to keep checkpoints to the whatever process happened. So that is called communication induced checkpoint. So this approach discussed so far implement checkpoint based rollback recovery, which relies only on checkpoint to achieve fault tolerance. So that is checkpoint based rollback. Here piggybacked on some informations, that is tracing to the checkpoint to store previous data, right? So that approach is discussed so far implement checkpoint based rollback recovery. Another one is lock based rollback recovery, combines checkpoint with the locking of non-deterministic events. Locking mechanism means when the this event is started and when it is closed, when the failure occurs, everything. So non-deterministic events. So that is lock based. Lock failure, like this you understood. Every server is maintained the lock. So whether client, when they start the send the file, receive the file, all the lock information will be available. So like this lock based rollback also keeping information about the process, right? So that is a lock based rollback. So this is about the domino effect. Domino effect. Look at this. So cascade rollback called domino effect, in which we studied independent and uncoordinated checkpoints. This means each process having its own checkpoints. Here coordinated checkpoints. Here we use the piggyback message, that information will be passed to each process to force to store the states. And then now lock based. So every checkpoint having the locking informations, right? So next one, so background and definition. So far this is the idea we are going to study in the 4th unit by using some algorithms, some concepts here. So that is why there are two things you have to keep remember. Now I think I hope you understood that what is checkpoint, what is rollback. These two topics only, these two words only so far we discussed many times, right? So one is the checkpoint to store this state. It means saved state. Rollback means going back to previous point. Why? Because if there is a failure, then going back to the previous point, checkpoint, where the data stored properly. That is a rollback mechanisms. Now, whatever involved in the system model, let us discuss now. So you see this, the distributed system consists of fixed number of processes, that is P1 to Pn, which communicate only through messages. That we know already. Basically, the entire system is communicating by sending the messages only. So that is a basic concept you can easily remember. And process cooperate to execute distributed application and interact with the outside world. Outside world means you have a system. That is outside world, how we can communicate, because you have mobile. So your mobile, if there is no internet, how will you communicate with the outside world? Only through internet only. So in the outside world, if you want to connect with the outside world, only through internet. When you have internet only, your mobile will be connected to the outside world. Your IP will be passed to outside world. So that is happening. So now you can see everybody is connected to outside world only, because they have internet. they can communicate with anybody else in the world, right? So that is the technology. So that is called distributed applications. So when the problem is coming, when you want to communicate with the outside world by sending the message or receiving the message, that time only there is a need of coordination. There is a need of coordinating. The coordination is executed for a checkpoint for the rollback. Rollback recovery protocols generally make assumptions about the reliability of the inter-process communication. Some protocol assume that communication subsystem delivers message reliably in first in first out order, while other protocol assumes that communication subsystem can lose or duplicate, reorder the messages. So here the messages will send. So last class we discussed before first in first out. The message what order arrived, the same order we have to deliver. So that is a fairness. That is a fairness. So fairness of delivering the data. If you know not properly doing that, then losing the messages. So that is what this one. So outside world, so there is a communication. P3 process sending the message B0 to M0 to P1. So after that, what happened? P2, it's sending the message to P3. And then here you see up to M0, the M1 is there. M1, what has happened? After this event, P1, M1 is sending the message to P2. Means P1 is sending the M1 message to P2. Then next M2. M2 where it is coming? M2 from P2 from P3. From P3 to P2, M3 messages. So here you see P1 to P2, M4 messages. So these are all message communication. This is only happening. So example of distributed system with the 3 process. So the choice between these two assumptions usually affects the complexity of checkpointing and failure recovery, right? So if a system recovers correctly, if the internal state is consistent, the observable behavior of the system before the failure. So when you monitor the system only, we can easily understand where the failure happened. If you allow the process to communication automatically, if you are not able to monitor that process, means you will not find the fault. So when there is a fault, you cannot easily identify where the fault happening. So that is a problem. For example, when you do programming, you will be debugging the program. Debugging, if you do 1000 line to the 20,000 line debugging at a time in C programming, it is not able to find out where is the error. That is why we are going for object-oriented programming. And then we can have an object, separate object. It's a reusable object. So we can easily debugging is very easy in object-oriented program because of modular programming. So like the same thing, same concept you can apply here also. So what happened? So when you create a checkpoint everywhere, when you create the checkpoint after 1 hour the transaction you can create a checkpoint. After 1 hour transaction you can create a checkpoints like this. The time interval you can fix. Even in your mobile also the option is there. You can check the checkpoint you can create. Right, it is available in your system also. There is a checkpoint is available, so you can recover from the data from the checkpoint. You can recover from the data. So this and all possible. So this is need to be coordinated properly. If you're not fixing it properly and the checkpoints everything, then you cannot do it. So that is what the generic correction conditions they given like this. So that is when the recovery protocol must contain information about the internal interaction among the process, right? So that is what we here, and then local checkpoint and global checkpoint we have to study. So all the processes have their own local states. So that is called local checkpoints. So that is called local checkpoints. Another one yesterday we did study synapse of the state process. Synapse means it's just capture that particular state. Means for T1 time we started the process, it is reaching T2, T3, T4, T5. When it is coming to T5, you will take one snapshot. Snapshot means what is the process at present at the stage, what will be the process status. So that is called snapshot. So every time we'll take the snapshot and we'll keep store, and then we'll find out that if there is a problem, then we'll go to the particular snapshot. So that is what idea here is a snapshot of the state of the process at the given instance. At the event of recording the state of the process is called local checkpointing. So that is called local checkpointing. You understand? So this is about the checkpointing concept. So local checkpoint. Another point, the checkpointing method use a process may keep several local checkpoint or just single checkpoint at any time. So that is depends on the process. Sometimes it's have several checkpoints or each process having only one checkpoint. That is also possible here. Here checkpoint, how we can denote? Let CIK denote the kth local checkpoint at the process PI. So that is the meaning of C I comma K. So kth local point, the C is a kth 10th local point for the process Pi. So Pi, if we take P2 means so 2 comma 5. So second process, fifth checkpoint. So like this you can remember. So it is assumed that process Pi takes a checkpoint Ci 0 before it starts the execution. So now we can understand checkpoint, local checkpoint. So local checkpoint means every processor is having its local checkpoint. So now we can look at this diagram. You can understand global state of the distributed system is a collection of individual states of all the participation process and state of the communication channel. So it is a coordinating approach. So all the individual states of the all the participating process and states of the communication channel. So it is all coming under the global state. So local state means, see, in our system, whatever the points we created, that is a local. The global state means for the more than million billion more than million systems or trillion system, there is a global state is available. So it will be there will be a global system monitoring the entire process. So that is a global state. That is the meaning of the global state here. So the global state is one that may occur during the failure-free execution of the distributed computations. The consistent system state is one in which process state reflects a message received. Then the state of the corresponding sender must reflect the sending of the message. So sender sending the message, receiver receiving the message. So there should be a proper sender and receiver should be there. Means without sender there is no receiver to receive the message. So like this, vice versa, we have to understand. So that need to be monitored properly. So we can send failure-free communications. Why this happened? Because inconsistency. Inconsistent means sometimes error may be failure. Sometimes there is a delay of reaching the message to the receiver later. So something the problem will happen like this only. So that time only it will happen. So now we can look at this one. So this M1 P0 is sending the message M1 to P1. So now this is a checkpoint here. After this, the P0 is processed like this. Right. Next one you see this P1. So P1 created a checkpoint here. Then after that we started the communication M2. So M2. So this is the consistent one. So this is the consistent one, right? So you can see the diagram example of consistent and inconsistent state. And here you see you create a checkpoint, the communication happened here. And you create a checkpoint here, the communication happened here. And you, after this in between there is an inconsistency, you start a checkpoint here. So this is not a proper way to creating the checkpoints and storing the data. So that is what I explained in the figure. You got the idea? Okay. Next, so for any doubt is there? Any doubt? Any doubt is there so far? Okay. Interaction with the outside world. A distributed application often interacts with the outside world to receive the input data and deliver the outcome of the computations. So that is the interaction. As I told you previously, the interaction, outside interaction. So you are sending the message to some of the system in the outside world. So there is interaction. Maybe sometime your computation result. So whatever the task you executed in your system, the result going back to the particular server, or from the server you are getting the data. So that is what happening. So that is about interaction with the real world with the outside world. So that is what I explained in this paragraph. If a failure occurs, the outside world cannot be expected to roll back. To simplify this presentation of how rollback recovery protocol interact with the outside world, we model that later as a special process that interact with the rest of the system through message passing. So it is very difficult doing this rollback mechanism because you are available in India and the other server is available in some other country, US or UK. how it is possible to do the rollback. That is what the technology. We used rollback mechanism algorithm and checkpoint mechanism algorithm. So that is the idea here they are telling. So we call this special process that outside world process. Outside world process. Before sending output to the outside world process, the system must ensure that the state from which output is sent will be recovered despite any failure. So what we have to do? We have to store in a local checkpoint. So we have to store it, and then we have to send the data to some other locations. So whenever when you want outside world, when you want to communicate, you should have a copy of the data. This is commonly called as the output commit problem. So this is called output commit problem. While sending it, you should have a data. Recovery protocol must arrange. You can easily read out and understand. So I'm giving you a guidance how these concepts you can understand. While reading out all the points, you can easily understand for your examination. So you just take the topic. By syllabus wise, you have to take the topic and study. So I given on the top of the this PDF, there is a syllabus is there. Look at the topic. For the topic, you can collect the points. So that is what you have to prepare. And if it is a big questions, what are the points you have to write for the big questions? So like this, you have to prepare. You can prepare for your exams, right? Next important questions, that is different types of message. Different types of message. Transit message, lost message, delayed message, orphan message, and the duplicate messages. So we have to study now, right? So this question will come university type of messages, different types of messages. So here in the previous example, we look into the previous example, right? So an example consists of four processes. Process P1 failed at the point indicated. The whole system recovers the state indicated by the recovery line. That is global state C1,8. So what is the meaning of 1,8? So 1 is a process number, 8 is a checkpoint number. So 2 is process number, 9 is a checkpoint number. So like this, there are global states are there. We can connect some of the checkpoints together, right? Then we can maintain it. So that is given here. So based on that, the messages, whether the message is reached, based on the reaching of the message, what happens to this message, based on that we can classify it. So one is transit message. So the global state, this shows that message M1 has been sent but not received. These are the process send the message, but message is not received. We call such a message in transit message. So the message sent by the sender but not reach the receiver means that is the in transit message. Message M2 also on the in transit message. Okay. The next one is last message. So what is the other point given here? In transit message are part of global system state. The message do not cause any inconsistency. So depending on whether the system model assumes reliable communication channels or rollback recovery protocols may have to guarantee the delivery of in-transit message when failure occurs. What we have to remember here, what is in-transit message? So sender will send a message, but receiver will not receive the message. So that situation is called, that kind of message is called transit message. Another one is last message. The last message means message who sent not undone that but receive is undone due to rollback are called last messages. Means message who sent is not undone but receive is undone due to rollback. So message who the sender is not done rollback means is not undone. What is the message is lost? Is not able to get the message what he sent. But receiver, when to do this rollback, you will not get it. So that is the last message. You will not get the message. So both sides you are doing that undone means rollback. So you are not getting the message. That is called last message. So this type of message also available in the process. So this type of message occurs when the process roll back to checkpoint period to the reception. Sometimes you may lose the message. So that message you have to send it again. Another one is you will be receiving the message delayed. So after some time you are receiving. The message whose receiver is not recorded because the receiving process was either down or the message arrived after the rollback of the receiving process. are called delayed message. You might be send the message, but the message reached after a long time. And in between you conduct a rollback also, but you are not able to receive that message. So that is delayed messages. That is called delayed messages. And orphan messages, messages with the receive recorded but message send is not recorded. You receive the messages but you don't know who is the sender. That is then orphan. So no, we don't know who is that, who's produced that message. So that is orphan. You understand? Message I received, but who sent that message I don't know. That is orphan message. For example, rollback might have undone the send of such a message, leaving the receives event intact at the receiving process. So what happened here? The sender will do that rollback, but not able to recollect the message. And it will leave that message even like that. But receiving side, it receive the message. So that is orphan message. So next one is duplicate. Same message can be sent many times. Duplicate message rise to message logging and replaying during process recovery. So while doing the process recovery, it might be sent again the same message again and again. So that is happening. Say M4 was sent or received before the rollback. Due to the rollback of the process P4 to C4, 8, and process P3 to C3 8, both send received of the messages. You can see here. So what this from this diagram you can understand. Say recovery time, then failure. So this general happen because of see duplicate message again you are sending the same message after the after the rollback. So that will be the duplicate message. So what are the types of messages we study here? One is transit messages, another one is last messages, and next one is delayed messages, orphan messages, duplicate messages. These are the types of messages we discussed, right? So keep remember, this question is one of the important questions. Different types of messages. In transit message means what? So transit message means so the M1 has been sent but not received. The message sent but not received means transit message. Last messages we done rollback but not able to receive the messages. And delayed messages we conduct a rollback also but the message reached after some time. So there is a delayed messages. Orphan who sender is not we not knowing the sender but receiver is receiving the messages. That is the orphan message. Duplicate. Again sending the same message, that is duplicate messages. You can go through this paragraph, you can easily understand. Right? So far what we discussed, we discussed about the checkpoints, local checkpoints we discussed, and then we discussed recovery mechanisms. So rollback recovery we discussed. After that, the type of message we discussed. I think you so far you got to understand what is rollback, what is checkpoint. So why these two were major point to be studied in this chapter. You got an idea, I think, right? The next one is issues in a failure recovery. Issues in a failure recovery. Go through this paragraph. In a failure recovery, we must not only restore the system to a consistent state, but also appropriately handle messages that are left in abnormal state due to failure and recovery. So majorly, what we are discussing here, consistent state, inconsistent state, right? The message restored and then roll back. These are the four the points or keywords are again and again we are discussing here only. So what happen if there is a failure? So what will happen? There is a restore point. We have to check the restore point. So that is what a failure to be recovered here. Here you see computation comprises of three processes PI, PG, PJ and PK connected through a communication networks. So there is a failure. You can understand there is a transit message is there. There is a last message you can find, and then you can find duplicate messages. Everything from this diagram you can understand. Suppose PI fails to instant indicated in the figure. All the contents of the volatile memory of PI are lost. After PI has recovered from the failure, the system needs to be restored to this consistent global state from where the process can resume their execution. When you want to restore the points, you have to see that consistent state. So it's a process happening smoothly from one state to going to one state to another state, like this is moving. So every state we created a restore point. It's a moving in the consistent state. If there is a inconsistency, means you checkpoint you created that after some time and then it's not properly created, means inconsistency. So when there is a consistent state, the recovery is very easy. That is a point we discussed here. There are orphan messages are possible, transit message. Transit orphan message means send who's the sender. We don't know who's the sender, but receive message is reached. So that is also explained here. And then transit. So the sender, so not send the message, but receive the message and the receiving end. So that is a transit message. The delayed messages. So sometimes the message will be delayed later. Like this, the whatever the message we studied, that will be discussed there. So that is about the. Let's go through this one. So that is about the diffusion of failure recovery. So next thing is checkpoint based recovery. Checkpoint based recovery we can discuss. So checkpoint based recovery means checkpoint means what? Saved state. So every process having created one checkpoint, there is a local checkpoint. Otherwise, there is a global checkpoint also available. Global state. Global state is connecting some of the checkpoints grouped together so that the recovery is very easy. Right? So that is here checkpoint based recovery. So what is happening here? We've already discussed this one, uncoordinated, coordinated checkpoint, communication into like this. We discussed the same concept we have to study here also. The checkpoint based recovery approach, each state of the process, all the communication channel checkpointed frequently so that during the failure, the system can be restored to the globally consistent state of the checkpoints. So why this checkpoint is created? When there is a failure, we can go to or we can restore the previous values. So therefore, this is less restrictive and simpler. So implement then log-based rollback recovery. Log-based will maintain the time, but here we will have a global state having this all the checkpoints so that we can recover easily. So that is the idea of this checkpoint. So next, this checkpoint-based rollback recovery classified into three categories. One is uncoordinated checkpoint, coordinated checkpoint, communication into checkpoints. Already we discussed communication into checkpoint means piggybacking. So your sender will send the message to the receiver, some informations. You do some checkpoint, create checkpoints. Our receiver will send the get the message. You do have to do create the checkpoints like this only. Uncoordinated means there is no coordinated checkpoints. Uncoordinated checkpointing. So each process having autonomy in deciding what when to take checkpoints. So when I have a process, the process will decide autonomically means autonomy. Autonomy means it will decide itself. So it will decide when it can in the particular process will create a checkpoints. That is uncoordinated. Global state means coordinated. Global state there is a policy you have to follow all the whatever the checkpoints you coordinated, that will be used and you can recover from the problems. But here the checkpoints, local checkpoints, if it is created based on the time depends on the processor time, then process time, then it will be uncoordinated checkpointing. Now, this eliminates the synchronization overhead as there is no need of coordination between the process and allows process to take checkpoints. This will lead to the domino effect. Domino effect we studied previously. That is the reason. Because of this reason only the domino effect is coming. So domino effect, why it is coming? Because uncoordinated checkpoints. So when there is a failure, we are not able to recover from the problem. Rollback is not possible because everyone is having his own checkpoint time. Somebody is recorded this to this time, and somebody is recorded this to this time. So we are not able to recover these things. So that is why it's a domino effect. So that is what we studied already. It is uncoordinated checkpoints. So that's what I told you this. There is a possibility of domino effect during a recovery, which may cause the loss of larger amount of useful work because of the uncoordinated checkpoints. The second thing is recover from the failure is slow because everything is uncoordinated. So how we can able to recover from this failure? So that is a problem here. So another point is this is forces to maintain the multiple checkpoints. So anytime we can maintain like this only, it will force us. That is another shortcoming. There is a problems. And next one is not suitable applications. It is not suitable for application with the frequent output commits. So that application that is not suitable. And there is a dependency request. So it depends on one another. So because of the checkpoint timing is varying. So another only rollback request. So when you roll back when you do rollback, it is communicating with each other states also. So that is a rollback request also possible. So these are the shortcoming is possible in the uncoordinated rollback, checkpoints. Coordinated checkpoints. Coordinated checkpoints, what will happen? So all the checkpoint activities so that all the local points from the consistent global states. So all the local checkpoints having the consistent global state. What happens? There is a coordinations. So coordinated checkpoints simplify recovery and it's not susceptible to domino effect. There is no domino effect here. When there is a domino effect is important 2 marks also. When the domino effect is coming, when there is an uncoordinated checkpoints. Uncoordinated checkpoints means every process will create its own checkpoint at any time. So there is no coordination. That's why it leads to domino effect because it is not able to recover from the failure. So rollback is not possible to do. That's why it's a domino effect. But coordinated here, you see this, there is a global state which will coordinate all the among the process to create the checkpoints. So that is recover from the problem is very easy. So that is why this the main disadvantage of this method, the larger latency involved in committing the output. Why larger latency? Latency means time. There's some because we want to coordinate with more than thousands checkpoints. Definitely will take time. So that is why there is a disadvantage, that is it taking delay, much delay. So that is the idea of this coordinating the checkpoints, right? Here itself, you can see the perfectly synchronized clocks were available at the process. Say synchronize each other because 10 million checkpoints are, I'm having 1,000 checkpoints. I'm going to create one global state, one because all are coordinating each other means there you can see the synchronization. So the perfectly synchronized clocks are available at the process. The following simple method can be used for checkpointing. So all the process should agree at what time instance of the time they will checkpoint and the clock or the process trigger the local checkpointing access and all process. So you can easily, when you read out this paragraph, you can easily understand. So what I am trying to educate you, you understand the concepts. What is checkpoint? What is rollback? When multiple persons are communicating each other, how we can coordinate? The real life we can understand. So when somebody, if I am allowing you, you can take decision means you will take some decisions. But when you are asking everybody to attend the exam in 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock means you have to attend because somebody is to coordinating you. That is a global communication or global process. But someone telling you there is there is a clock is fixed 10 to 1 only, you can do exams. Means you are whatever you studied, you are restoring now. You are storing it the paper. So like this only in the global state, coordinate checkpoints means there is a global state. There is a common instruction. There is a common agreement when you have to start to record, when you have to start to store the process whatever happened. So that is what coordinating checkpoints. But by analyzing this, you can write easily. So no need to memorize this and all. Just keep remember. Again, you go through this video, you can easily understand. So that's what I'm not disturbing you because these are recorded videos only. You can listen later also if you're not understanding this. So blocking coordinated checkpointing. So blocking coordinated checkpointing. So this approach coordinated checkpoint is to a block communication while the checkpoint protocol executes. After process takes a local checkpoint to prevent orphan messages. Prevent orphan messages means what? The message reached the receiver, but it is the receiver not knowing who is the sender. That is orphan message. It remains blocked until the entire checkpoint is activity is complete. But this is called blocked coordination checkpointing. So why the situation is coming? So receiver received the message, but who is the sender? So now the process is going to find out what is that. So now this way it's called blocked communications. We'll do our operations. We'll find out that who sent the messages. So that is blocked communication. So the coordinator takes a checkpoints and broadcasts a request message to all the process. Now what is the process? It will inform to everybody who sent the message, this message. We'll have to find out that. So that is called blocked communications. So until that we cannot start other process. So when the process receives the message, it stops its execution, flushes all the communication channel, takes tentative checkpoints, send the acknowledgement message back to the coordinators. It's all happening in distributed applications. After the coordinator receives the acknowledgement from all the process, it broadcasts a commit message that completes the two-phase checkpoint protocol. Right? So after receiving the commit message, a process removes the old permanent checkpoint and automatically makes the tentative checkpoint permanent. Then resumes its execution and exchange of messages with the other process. We just go through this point, you can easily understand. So ultimately, when there is an orphan message, we have to take necessary action, find out who sent the message. Next one is non-blocking checkpoint coordinations. Non-blocking checkpoint coordinations. Just go through this paragraph. So non-blocking checkpoint coordination. So in this approach, so blocking means previously when you find like this orphan message, we stop that. We'll find out that what is who sent the message. So non-blocking checkpoint means in this approach, need not to stop the execution while taking the checkpoints. No need to stop the operations. The fundamental problem is coordinating. Checkpointing is prevent the process from receiving the application message that could make the checkpoint inconsistent. Right? So in this example, you can see message M is sent by P0 after receiving the checkpoint request from the checkpoint coordinators. Checkpoint before creating the checkpoint, there is a message received. So the message is sent by the P0 process. Assume that M reaches the P1 before the checkpoint request. So this is a problem. So that is why no need to stop these operations. There will be a recenter. So this result inconsistent checkpoint. So since checkpoint C1, X shows that receipt of the message M from this G0, while checkpoint C0, X does not show M being sent from the P0. So that is a problem. Because I told you this Z0 means it is a processor number, X means the checkpoint count number, right? So if channels are FIFO, this problem can be avoided by proceeding the first post checkpoint message on each channel by checkpoint request. So forcing each process to take a checkpoint before receiving the first post checkpoint message. So what is the idea here? So the checkpoint, whether the checkpoint is done or not, after that only the message need to be sent. So that is what the idea here. So that is non-blocking mechanisms. This is a non-blocking mechanism. See that checkpoint inconsistency. So initiated a checkpoint request. Here you see this A solution with the FIFO channels. So there is a checkpoint request based on the first in first out. So this is the idea of here. Just go through this paragraph, you can easily understand. So impossibility of min process and non-blocking checkpoints. Right, here you see. So here a min process, minimum number of process, forcing the minimum number of process to take a new checkpoints. That is what min process non-blocking checkpoints. So at minimum process. At the same time, it does not force any process to suspend its computations. So because when there is a possibility of errors or failure, will force some of the process minimum process to go for right checkpoints, creating the checkpoints. So that will not stop the process also. So clearly, such a checkpoint algorithm will have very attractive. The following type of min process checkpoint algorithms are possible. Right, two phases. One is first phase. Checkpoint initiator identify all the process with which it has committed since the last checkpoint send them request. So we'll initiate will pick some of the process to go for checkpoint. So that's the first phase. Upon receiving the request, each process in turn identifies all the process it has communicated with since in the last checkpoint and send them request, and so on until no more process can be identified. So like this, the which are the process in need to be created checkpoints. That process will be identified, and then it will be send the request to create the checkpoint. So that is called the consistency of two phases. It is called minimum process non-blocking checkpoints. Z dependency. See, Z dependency, another one. It is by Zio and Singal proved that there is not existing non-blocking algorithm that will allow a minimum number of processes to take the checkpoints. So here, ultimately, what we are studying, the request sending to the process to create the checkpoints. So that is the idea here. A process PB sending the message to PQ during the ith checkpoint interval. Process PQ receives a message during its jth checkpoint interval. Then PQ Z depends on the PB during the PB checkpoint interval, and PQ is a jth checkpoint interval. So there is a interval is created. It's waiting one another, so that then there is a problem of recovering the failures, recover from the failures. So therefore, when a process receives a message M, it must know if the initiator of the new checkpoint transitively Z depends on it during the previous checkpoint interval. So when you start the receive the messages, so it must initiate a new checkpoint. Next, the checkpoint is created or not. So that is the Z point communication. You just go through this paragraph, you can understand. The next last one is communication induced checkpoint. So far, what we discussed, uncoordinated checkpoint communications, and then what is next we studied, coordinated checkpoint communications. The last one is in this communication induced checkpoint. So here we'll send the message that is called piggyback message will be sent to each other, so that the processor will start to record the states. See this another way to avoid the domino effect while allowing the process to take some of the other checkpoint independently. So process may be forced to take additional checkpoint over and above their autonomous checkpoints. Thus, particular process will be forced to take the checkpoints. So that is called communication induced checkpoints. So this process independence is constrained to guarantee the eventual progress on the every line. So communication induced checkpoint reduces completely eliminate the useless checkpoints, because it is not automatically create the checkpoints. So we'll have to tell them you create a checkpoint. That is communication. You will pass the communication to the process, create a checkpoints. So it is a communication into to process two types of process of checkpoints, namely autonomous and forced checkpoints. The checkpoints that a process takes independently are called local checkpoints. So right. So while those that process forced to take called that one forced checkpoints. Right. Just go through this one. Okay. So here you see local checkpoints and forced checkpoints. Local checkpoint, the process takes independently are called local checkpoint. The process will create the checkpoints automatically. Local checkpoints. Sometimes the forced checkpoints will intimate them to create the checkpoints. So that is the forced checkpoints. These two you can remember now, right? Okay. The next one is there are two types of communication induced checkpointing: model based checkpointing, another one is index based checkpointing. So model-based checkpointing means the system maintains checkpoints and communication structure that prevent domino effect or achieve more, even stronger properties. That is model-based checkpointing. The checkpoint main thing is here what we have to do, the avoiding this domino effect. So why the domino effect is coming? Why this domino effect is coming? Because when each process is having its own time to create the checkpoints, is storing the data, restoring the data, it is taking its own time. So like this, all the process having independently restoring that, creating the checkpoint means that is a domino effect. So ultimately, we want to avoid this domino effect. That is the idea of this. So every time when you create, checkpointing, model-based checkpointing and index-based checkpointing, it is all I am going to avoid the domino effect. So there should be a coordinated checkpoint creation. So that is the idea here. So model-based checkpointing, the system maintains the checkpoints and communication structure that prevent the domino effect or achieve more, some even stronger properties. Another one is index-based checkpointing. The system uses indexing scheme for the local and force checkpoints, such that checkpoints have the same index at all the process from the consistent state. That is index-based. There is an index is there for local and force checkpoints. Index means numbering. So which is the first one, second one, like this, so that we can keep recording that to maintain and avoid the domino effect. So these are the two types: model-based checkpointing, index-based checkpointing. So the same the model-based checkpointing is discussed here, right? You can see, just go through this paragraph, you can easily understand. So this prevents a pattern of communication and the checkpoint that could, result in inconsistent state among the existing checkpoints, right? And process detects a potential for inconsistent checkpoints, independently forces local checkpoints to prevent information from the undesirable patterns. So that is a model-based checkpoints. So you can keep remember the fourth checkpoint is generally used to prevent undesirable patterns from occurring. So these are the points discussed here. An index-based checkpoint is we create an index for the checkpoint created automatically, and then whatever the checkpoints we created forcefully. So for that we have index. So that is what given here. Induced checkpointing assigns monotonically increasing the indexes to the checkpoints such that checkpoints having the same index and different process from the consistent state. Right. So far we studied, right? What we studied so far is a checkpoint based recovery, rollback recovery we studied. Now, log based rollback recovery. Log based rollback recovery we have to discuss. Definitely, we'll get one big questions from this. So, checkpoint based or log based rollback recovery. So, log based, we will maintain a time. So, a log based recovery makes use of the deterministic and non deterministic even in a search competition. Deterministic means single process having the single communications. Non deterministic multiple communications. So, that is the idea here. So deterministic, non-deterministic events. So log-based rollback recovery explained the fact that process execution can be modeled as a sequence of deterministic state interval. Deterministic, means, so at a time only one. Each starting with the execution of the non-deterministic events. There is a deterministic interval, but each starting with the execution of non-deterministic event. Non-deterministic means multiple, time. So a non-deterministic event can be receipt of message from another process and even internal to the process. So sometimes the request from coming from another process or sometimes from the same process. So note that the message sent event is not a non-deterministic event. So that is why, so deterministic and non-deterministic events. So look at this one, deterministic and non-deterministic event. So here you see this M0, this M1, and from here P0 to P2, M2. So like this communication is happening. Look at this one. The execution of process B0 is a sequence of 4 deterministic interval. First one start with the increasing of the process, while the remaining 3 start with the receipt of messages M0, M3, M7 like this. So look at this one. P0 sending how many messages? M2 and then M5. These two messages sent by P0. And P1 is sending the message M0, some regular interval but happening different times. And then you can see this M1. And P2 you take here, what happened? It's sending M1 and then M4 and M6. So that this will happen regular interval, but reaching to the different, different process. That is non-deterministic events. No orphan consistency conditions. No orphans means what? Orphan message means receiver received a message, but the receiver not able to know who's the sender. So that is why we conducted some recovery mechanisms. We done rollback. After that, we are going to find out who's the sender like this. But previous one we discussed like this. But see that there is no orphan messages. So that we have to have a consistency conditions like this. But already I told you this Lambert happened before. Lamberts. Lamberts what happened before means which event arrived first that will be executed. Then the second event. So first event means first event first going to the second events. So that what will happen? They will not be confused to find out which message which is the orphanage which message that is orphanage means they will not find any orphanage messages like this. You got idea what I'm telling? So depending lock E stable. So lock of E and then depend E, the set of processes that are affected by the non-deterministic event E. This set of consists of B and any process whose state depends on the event E according to the Lambert's happened before relations. I told you already happened before relations means you allow the first event to do the process first, then second event. So that is all dependency. There's a lock means we will have no time. The set of process that have locked a copy of E determined in their volatile memory. And there is a permanent process also. That is predict that true if the E determined is locked on the stable storage. So like this, the three things I discussed here. No, they make sure that no orphan message is coming here. Based on that, conditions will be applied here. And again, you just go through this. Lock-based rollback recovery protocols are three types: pessimistic locking, optimistic locking, casual locking. So there are three types of locking is available. So pessimistic locking you can understand. So pessimistic means you have the two things: pessimistic, optimistic. Protocol assume that failure can occur after any non-deterministic event in the competitions. That is a negative way we can think. That is pessimistic. And is coming, failure may occur. That assumption is pessimistic since the reality failures are rare. But we'll think that there will be a failure will happen. So there will be a failure will happen like this. We'll think. That is the pessimistic lacking. Optimistic lacking the opposite failure. There is not any failure like this. We'll think. We'll go for the operations. So that is optimistic. Optimistic locking protocol process lock determinatics. The previous one is non-deterministic. So determinants asynchronously to the stable storage. That is optimistic locking. So this protocol optimistically assume that locking will be complete before the failure occurs. So all the locking will be completed before failure occurs. That is an optimistic way. So like this will work. So it will affect it will remove that dominant effect, and then there is no orphans conditions. So like this problem will be reduced here. So you can see here. So sometimes casual locking also available. So casual locking combines the advantage of both pessimistic and optimistic locking at the expense of more complex recovery protocol. Right? You can compare both, pessimistic locking and then optimistic locking. You can understand this casual locking also, right? So what we discussed so far, this is about the rollback and then checkpoint. These two keywords, important terms we used and we have divided into so many types and we discussed here. You can get the idea, I think, about this unit now. But if you have specific doubt, if you want to listen some specific topic to be explained again, means I can explain you. Just request me later because I'm revising all the topics in the fifth unit within 1 hour. some of the topics, separately. Checkpoint-based algorithm, what we studied, that coordinated, uncoordinated. So right, and then communication induced, checkpoints and all we studied. After that, lock. When you talk about lock mechanisms, so lock-based checkpoints-based algorithm, when you study, there is a deterministic, non-deterministic we discussed. Right, you can study that also, lock-based, right? So like this, some of the major points when you remember, then when you go through the paragraph, you can easily understand. So only thing is you just go through the video again so that you can understand, right? So next one is coordinated checkpointing algorithm. There are algorithms are given. You just go through quickly this algorithm. It is enough. So co-term coordinated checkpoint algorithm. So another person is given same kind of techniques discussed differently. Here also first phase, second phase, correctness will be there. And another point, another algorithm is available. This one is just go through quickly. This algorithm is not elaborately discussed in your syllabus. One or two algorithm you can study and remember. That's enough. The Venkatesan algorithm for asynchronous checkpoint recovery. Just go through one time this algorithm. That's not important one. You can just go through what is given here. And then consensus agreement algorithm. So this is an important topic you have to study. So here, some assumption agreement. Consensus means agreement. So consensus agreement. So for agreement means, all the among the there is a group communication. On this group communication, there should be a common agreement. There should be a cooperations. That consensus should be there. So that is what the consensus and agreement algorithm problem definitions. So here you can see failure models are there, synchronous, asynchronous communication, network connectivity. Here this concept is very simple. So it's an agreement among the process. So every time you have to create the checkpoint, how communication should happen. So like this, there should be a policy and you have to follow some policy, some consensus. You can maintain a proper communication so that there is no recovery, there is no failure problems here. So like this particular unit topic is discussed here. So Byzantine agreements you can study. The points are given here, so you can go through easily. Just go through the remaining things quickly. So when have doubt on this, you can ask me later. I'll take specific topic. So major topics already discussed, right? So major topic, which is a very important topic already discussed. You can study the topics, it's enough. And if you have specific doubt on any topics, you can send me. I'll take you class later on this. So in this topic, majorly you concentrate on rollback, checkpoint and rollback mechanism is a very important topic. After that, you can concentrate on the consensus and agreement algorithms. How coordination among the algorithm is happening. Just go through the paragraph, you can easily understand, right? Okay. So far what we discussed, recovery and consensus. Recovery and consensus. Very importantly, we discussed checkpointing and rollback recovery, right? Checkpoint based recovery, lock based rollback recovery is a very important questions. And whatever we studied, coordinated checkpointing algorithm for assignment, dependency and recovery. These things you can study this one chapter. And second chapter, you can study that consensus and agreement problems, algorithms. Some of the topic you can study. This is the second chapter. If you're strong enough in the first chapter, you can attend the question easy. Is everything easy only? Only thing is you should have proper knowledge. So that is why very important, the checkpointing and rollback recovery. Right? Okay. So we can wind up the session. Thank you.